Hi everyone, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a book haul. I'll be doing a combination of both like a traditional book haul of like books that I either purchased or was gifted, but I'll also be doing a library haul. I'll be doing these together because one, I'm supposed to not be buying as many books myself, so it shouldn't take me that long to get through them, and also because I love the library and I really want to encourage you all to use your local library if you have one, so that's kind of my way of doing that. So let's get right on to this book haul. The first book I purchased this year was Lady Hotspur by Tessa Gratton. This is a sequel to The Queens of Innisleer, which is one of my all-time favorite books that if you watched my January wrap-up, you know that I reread it in January, and I still love it even though I had some issues with it. But I pre-ordered Lady Hotspur because I was really anticipating it before it came out, but then I kind of burned myself out with The Queens of Innisleer. So I don't know when I'll be picking up Lady Hotspur, but it will eventually happen because Tessa Gratton is one of my queens. So like, it'll happen. Now, what is it actually about? I don't really know that much, honestly. I just know that it takes place in the same world as The Queens of Innisleer. It's kind of like a spin-off, but I think centuries later, if not just, it's not just a couple of years, it's probably like centuries later. And it's a retelling of another Shakespeare play. It's Henry IV, I think it's a retelling of, or Henry V. I can't remember because I suck at doing research for these videos because I'm trash. But just know that I'm really looking forward to reading it. I'll probably love it once I read it, and I'm just happy that I got it. Anyway, the next book I got in January was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Red, White, and Royal Blue is about the son of the first female president of the United States falling in love with the Prince of England. So this is kind of like, at the beginning, a sort of hate-to-love romance. It's not a slow burn as it could be. I really enjoyed it. I still thought that their relationship developed really well, but mostly like the hate to love aspect that some people mentioned, that lasts for like 150 pages. And this is a pretty long book. It doesn't look it, but it's like 400 pages long. So 100 or so pages of hate to love isn't that much. So don't go into it expecting a lot of hate to love. It's mostly just love and them falling in love and the tensions of them having to figure things out because they're in the situation. Anyway, this is a book that I didn't buy for myself. Since I'm Puerto Rican, we have a celebration in January called Three Kings Day. I mean, Puerto Ricans aren't the only ones who celebrate it. I'm just saying that that's what I celebrated. So I got this as a gift from my dad for that day because I asked him for different books and he kind of picked this one up. I'm assuming actually that he found it in Target and so that's why he picked up this one, but I actually don't know. But whatever the case, I'm really excited about having this book because I loved it last year. It's one of my favorite reads of last year. It was really cute, really sweet. I felt like I was reading fanfic, like in the best way possible. Like some people think that's a negative thing, but that's like one of the highest praise I can give a book because what I love about fanfic is just how happy it makes me and just how, I don't know, how giddy and sweet and whatever. Like I'm illiterate, but honestly, it was great. It kind of reads like fanfic. It has some of my favorite tropes in fanfic. And just the characters are very realistic. The dialogue is really on point and it's just a good time. It's just a good time. The next book I got was Space Struck by Paige Lewis. This is a poetry collection. I don't really know how to sell it to you guys. I don't really know how to describe it. Let's see what it says in the back. This astonishing self-assured debut leads us on an exploration to the stars and back, begging us to reconsider our boundaries of self, time, space, and knowledge. The speaker writes, "The universe is an arrow without end, and it asks only one question, how dare you?" But that's kind of like, get an idea of what it says in the back because I don't know how to describe poetry, alright? All I can tell you, which you would already know if you watched my January wrap-up, is that I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a really good poetry collection. If you're looking for something a bit more romance-heavy, or more simplistic, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying that's not what this is. So if you're looking for something more like that, maybe stay away from this. But if you're looking for something a bit more different, then I would definitely recommend this book. Plus, Paige Lewis is non-binary, so if y'all are looking for more non-binary authors, y'all can check out this poetry collection if that's something that's in your goals. The next two books I got in January were by the same author, but let's start with They Both Die at the End by Silvera. They both die at the end is about this boy named Mateo and this boy named Rufus, who both find out that they're gonna die that day. But they live in this quasi-futuristic New York where people now get a phone call on the day that they're gonna die. They don't know how they're gonna die or when specifically time-wise they're gonna die, but they just know it's gonna be within the next 24 hours. So they both get this phone call, and in this world there's also this app that was developed that I think it's like Last Day Friend or something like that. It's called Last Friend. So they both end up getting this app because in this app you either get connected to another person that's dying the same day as you are, or someone else who just wants to support a person that's dying that day. So they get connected and it's kind of like a one-day romance. They meet that day and they kind of start falling in love. I personally think that Adam Silvera did a superb job with that trope in this book. I really found their relationship really believable and sweet, but I know that that trope isn't for everyone. But yeah, it was a very emotional read. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read it in a really long time. I read it when it came out, which was in... when the fuck was that? 2017. I think I probably picked it up the same year that it came out. So it's been a hot second, but I have really fond memories, so that's kind of why I got it. Plus, I went to an Adam Silvera event, so I was like, I need to get some Adam Silvera books. I picked up this one because I already knew I loved it, but I owned it on my Kindle, so I decided to get a physical copy, mostly so that I could get it signed, you know? I really love his signature. I find it so fucking cute. The little smiley face. It's just adorable. At least that's how I feel about it. But anyway, the Adam Silvera event was really, really nice. He was a pretty chill and cool dude. Like, it was a good time. A good time was had. Plus, there was this really cute moment where someone in the audience, like, they had their dog and Adam saw the dog and picked it up, and it was just the cutest moments ever. It was adorable. I'll probably insert a picture if I remember to do that because y'all need to witness the adorableness. The second book I picked up by Adam Silvera was More Happy Than Not. This book is about a boy named Aaron who lives in this semi-futuristic New York, that's kind of Adam Silvera's thing, that there has been developed this procedure where people can forget their memories. They can suppress their memories if they have pretty significant trauma. So it's about Aaron who wants to forget that he's gay. A lot of traumatic things happen in his life and he thinks that all of it boils down to him being gay, and he decides that he needs to get this procedure. So that's kind of like the gist of what this book is about. I also really enjoyed this book. If y'all saw my wrap up and stuff like that, you know that I read it in January and it was emotional and a lot. And actually, there's a new edition coming out of this book, which I'm really fucking excited about. One, because the cover is gorgeous and the design for Aaron is fucking beautiful. Like, just look at him. Look at him. He's beautiful. Anyway, but apart from him being beautiful, there's also gonna be a new chapter added. It's kind of like an epilogue to the book where hopefully Adam Silvera will stop doing me dirty and give me a happier ending. You know what I'm saying? Because this one ends really sadly. I don't even think it's bittersweet. It's just kind of sad. So I'm really hoping that in that end he gives a bit more hope than he does in the original ending of it. Which is kind of weird to think about a book having a new ending, but honestly, since the major thing I didn't like about this book was the ending, I look forward to it, honestly. I'm like, give it to me. Give me the ending that I want. The last book I'm gonna mention as having gotten it in January is more of an honorary mention. This is a book that I was supposed to get in December, but it didn't fucking happen because I was going to an author event with this author and things got postponed, so I didn't get it as fast as I thought I would. So that's why I'm including this book in this haul. And that book is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. Children of Virtue and Vengeance is the sequel of Children of Blood and Bone, which if y'all don't know, which probably you do know, because one, I've mentioned it in my channel before, and two, it's a really popular book, so if you haven't heard it, I'm surprised. But anyway, the first book is about this girl named Zaylee who lives in a world where the magic of the people have been taken away. She and her family, because they have white hair, they would have magical powers if their magic hadn't been taken away by their ruler. And so the story is basically about Zaylee going unintentionally on a quest to get magic back for her people. And in the way, she meets a princess and a prince, and her brother goes on the adventure with her. And it's just a bunch of shenanigans, and it's a fun time. I had a really good time reading it. I'm really looking forward to reading this sequel. I really hope I get to read it for Blackathon. I haven't picked it up yet, but it's still the beginning of February. We're good. It's fine. It's all fine. As for the event itself, Tomi Adeyemi was a sweetheart. I really, really loved seeing her and hearing her responses to questions. I thought she just gave me such good vibes, you know? I just felt so happy being there, and she felt like she had such good energy. And in general, I just had a really, really nice time. So let's move on with the library haul portion of this video. Most of these you will have already heard of because a lot of them are books that I read in January, but I still wanted to share these again just to encourage all of you to support your local libraries, and also because I just like to keep video track of the things that I'm hauling, whether it be out of the cost of my own wallet or through the library. So one of the audiobooks I checked out from the library was Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. Her Body and Other Parties is a collection of short stories that all have a speculative element. They're kind of sci-fi-ish, they're kind of magical, they all have something going on with them. And they're all feminist stories. It's all very focused on women and their bodies and how they're policed and all this kind of stuff. If you watched my wrap-up, you already know that I wasn't the biggest fan of this collection, but I mostly blame that on the fact that I picked this up as an audiobook instead of physically. So I would encourage you all to pick it up as a physical book. I think you'll enjoy it way better that way. Another audiobook I picked up from the library was The Diviners by Libba Bray. The Diviners is set in the 1920s, and it's about these kids that have magical powers and are called the Diviners. It mainly follows, at least from my understanding, this girl named Evie who can touch objects and know the history of them, basically. They know what the person did with them, or she can figure out things about the people who own the objects. Something like that. I'm pretty sure there's a technical word for it, but I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. But this is a book that I soft DNF'd very, very recently in the beginning of February because I just wasn't in the mood for it. It wasn't that anything was wrong with it. I just wasn't feeling it. I found myself getting distracted while listening to the audiobook, and I was like, you know what, it's best to pick up a different audiobook because this one is just not working for me. So I only got like 6% into it. That's why my summary is so shitty, because I don't actually know that much what it's about. So maybe I'll pick it up eventually again, maybe not. I don't know. The main reason I picked it up at all was because everyone was really excited about the last book in the series coming out, and I was like, maybe I should give it a try, but it just didn't work for me this time. The next book I'm going to mention, I've already mentioned in this haul, but I just wanted to mention it because I've picked it up first from the library, and that's More Happy Than Not by Silvera. This one, I picked it up because I wanted to start reading it before I went to the Silvera event, and the only way for me to do that was to get it from the library. So I read the majority of this book through this library copy. I'm really happy that I picked it up from the library before I went to the event, because I know for a fact I would have been more skeptical about picking up this book and buying it if I hadn't read it at least a little bit beforehand. So yeah, that's why libraries are great. You can get ahead on reading without having to spend money. The next book I picked up was The Weight of the Stars by Kate Ingram. The Weight of the Stars is about this girl who kind of grew up on the wrong side of the tracks. She really wants to become an astronaut, but the opportunities are not that, available for her. But she ends up meeting this girl whose mother is an astronaut, but is stuck in a mission that she might not return to. So it's a story about these two girls getting to know each other better, forming a friendship, and possibly falling in love. So hopefully this will get read for Blackathon, because I just need to get this off of my TBR, because I've heard great things about it, and I just need to know. I just need to have answers, and I just need to have the peace of mind that I finally got through this book. The last book I got from the library was Dark and Deepest Red by Anna Marie McLemore. Dark and Deepest Red is a dual timeline book that's a retelling of the fairy tale of the Red Shoes. I can't remember the name of the author of that fairy tale, but yeah, essentially it's a retelling of that tale, but it's kind of twisting things up. It's based on historical events. It's about this dancing plague that happened in the 1500s in Strasbourg. Is that how you say that place? I don't know, my friends, but that's how I'm gonna say it. So it's kind of combining this dancing fever that happened during that time with the fairy tale of the red shoes. And so we follow both the people in the 1500s that are dealing with the dancing fever and a more current timeline. But the people in the 1500s are, at least one of them, are the ancestors of another character in the current timeline. So it's actually kind of a story about embracing who you are, where you come from, and it's beautiful. And I don't know why I'm telling you all this. It mostly is because I literally finished reading this yesterday, Thursday, and I fucking loved it. So I have a lot of feelings, but this is not what this video is about. The point is, that's what this book is about. I really loved it. Anna Marie McLemore is one of my favorite authors. They are fucking incredible. Y'all should definitely pick up their books because they are a work of art every single time. So pick it up, read it, read their work. It will be worth your time. Why am I speaking like this? I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Please let me know what you picked up this month. Did you buy any new books? Did you haul things from your library? I definitely want to know either way. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And if you want to follow me on any of my social media, I will leave all of those links down below. So see you next time.